based on what I've got in my fridge, and I'm sure you all do the same. So I had the idea of making a dish with chicken and bacon, and I wanted a really nice creamy sauce that we could put into the Ninja and pressure cooked. But at the same time, I also want to cook a carbohydrate. So we're going to be layering up some potatoes, putting those on the rack in a pot-in-pot method, and that way we're creating a two-tier meal that we can pressure cook, and it's absolutely delicious. I hope you do agree and you give me a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well if you are new here to Susannah's Kitchen. Thank you so much for watching today's recipe. If you do want the full written recipe that you can then print, it's over on www.susannahskitchen.uk, and my cookbooks are available on there as well. So let's go and make tonight's dinner, this creamy chicken and bacon with layered potatoes.
So I'm making a two-part meal this evening. We've got in the bottom a creamy barbecue chicken and bacon, and then we're going to be putting a gratin on top. I'm going to pressure cook the whole thing together. Then hopefully at the end, I'll be able to air fry or grill the gratin just to finish that off. So that is my plan with this recipe. Let's get the Ninja onto sear and saute. Let's get a little bit of spray oil just in the bottom there, because I want to crispen up the bacon to start with. I like to do that because it renders down the fat on the bacon. So I've got chicken in this bowl as well, so I'm just picking out the bacon pieces. This is for two people, I've got 75 grams of bacon here. I've gone with a streaky bacon. Doesn't really matter, use whatever you've got or whatever you like. And then after I've done the bacon, I've got chicken breast here, and that's 250 grams. Again, that's plenty to feed two of us. So let's just let that bacon render down and start going a little bit crispy before we start adding in the rest of the ingredients. So whilst I'm waiting for my bacon fat to render down, I'm going to show you what I've already prepared. So in here, I've got sliced potatoes. I grease the outside of the tin slightly. And then in there, I've got 450 grams of sliced up potatoes. I've got some garlic granules and salt and pepper to season them. And then I've poured over some stock, which was 150 millilitres. I'm going to cover those over, and they are ready to be layered up. Let's see how the bacon's doing. Great, we're getting a little bit of colour on there now, and that fat is starting to render down just in places, but that's fine. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. And now let's add in our onion and our red pepper. So you can go as much as one red pepper and half an onion for two people. Is pretty good quantities. And also chicken, in that goes. Just going to brown that off as well. Just going to season with a little bit of salt, not too much because the bacon is salty, and some black pepper. Now you have a choice with regards to seasonings. I'm going to be using this barbecue seasoning, which I've used before, and it's really tasty. I really like it. So I'm going to use that. If you don't want to use barbecue seasoning, then you could go in with some garlic granules, some smoked paprika, oregano, would be lovely in this. But why not use this? Right, give that another little toss around, and this is going to be going under pressure, so I don't want everything cooked. I just want a little bit of colour on the outside, really. So barbecue seasoning going in. That's a good tablespoon that I've put into there. We are going to be using some barbecue sauce as well to give it that flavour. Now, generally with a hunter's style chicken, you know, with the chicken, the barbecue, the bacon, you have cheese. So on the potatoes at the end, I'm going to put a little bit of cheese over the top of those and then melt that. That is the plan, and I have to be honest, I haven't done this one before. I invented this afternoon, so let's hope it works well. Once you get to a point where you're happy with the colour that you've got, and the bacon fat really is all I was worried about. I just wanted to render that down. nice to get a little bit of colour on your onions as well. I'm quite happy to turn off the sear and saute now. If you want to use barbecue seasoning but you still want to add extras in, then you can do that as well. Okay, so I want around half a tablespoon of tomato puree in there. I've got a good 250 millilitres of stock, might be a little tiny bit more. But you know that 250 is your minimum when you're pressure cooking, so just ensure that you definitely have got that amount. And then a good tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, up to you really, how barbecuey you want it. That's probably about a tablespoon that I've put in there. So the sear and saute is off. It looks like it's on because it's just got a lot of heat in this pot still. So I think that is good. We've got lots of liquid in there ready to cook this under pressure. Now I am going to add to this sauce afterwards some cream cheese, some light cream cheese to keep the calories down on this. But that comes at the end. Let's get these potatoes on the rack and let's lower those over the chicken and the bacon. Just want to tuck in that foil. You don't have to use foil. Any sort of lid is good on your potatoes. And let's get the lid down. Let's pressure cook. Make sure your pressure valve is pushed to the back, which is on seal. Slide over to pressure cook. And let's go on. We're going to go 0 minutes. And we're going to opt for a natural release. Now remember, you've got the build up of the pressure and also the pressure release, and it's still going to be cooking during that time. Okay, so the natural release ran for a sort of 7.5 minutes-ish, and it said open, but we're at 8 minutes now and I still can't open. So you can either wait or you can flip over the pressure valve if you want to get rid of that little tiny bit of excess that it's got. But as I've got those potatoes in the pot, I think I would rather just leave it to run and make sure that they are as tender as possible. And the potatoes, I really sliced them very thin and it wasn't a thick layer. As I said to you, there was only 450 grams of potatoes in total. So let's just wait, try and be patient. I'll let you know exactly how long it's running for in total, and then we can start finishing off the dish. Okay, so we're 9 minutes 20. Let's open up. First thing I'm going to do is remove the potatoes. Let's just take those out. Let's have a little look at our chicken and bacon. Okay, oh, that looks really nice. It looks really intense in flavour and you can tell by the smell of it. So that sauce is way too thin, as it would always be with this type of dish. Now I'm going to add in my cream cheese. I've gone with a light cream cheese because I'm just trying to keep the calories down at the moment. You don't have to use that in particular. I've weighed this out and that is 40 grams in there. Now, if you still feel your sauce isn't thick enough, you can just sear and saute that for a moment if you wish to. But sometimes I find if you just leave it long enough, it does start to thicken up. Of course, you can always add a corn flour slurry as well, which I often do. Just makes life quick and easy, doesn't it? I'm really happy with them. They've soaked up most of the liquid. There is still some liquid there, but I don't mind that. If you want to, you can add a load of cream to this, make them creamy, add some extra cream cheese. You do whatever really you want to do with those. I'm just going to put some cheese on and am I going to grill or air fry? I'm a bit undecided. Either works. So add over whatever cheese you like. To be honest, it's more about getting the top of those potatoes crispy as well. I mean, I'm going with very, very minimal cheese. I'm cooking something else actually this evening as well at the same time. So, yeah, just this little amount of cheese was left over. I mean, you can absolutely smother it if you want to. So I was air frying, but I went back to my trusty grilling because it's so powerful. We're getting more colour and it's melting quicker. I would say we've had 3 or 4 minutes on grill, probably had a few minutes on air fry. I could tell it wasn't doing what I wanted. There you go. We've got nice crispy gratin potatoes there. I'm happy with those. Here we go with the potatoes. I'm being careful. I know this is metal. Everything else seems to have been used today in our house. Let's dish up some of those lovely potatoes. Oh, they're really nice, really tender, a little bit crispy on the top, which is lovely. Good portion there. Let's serve up some of our chicken and bacon and that lovely creamy sauce. As I said, if you do want to thicken it further, go ahead and do that. My husband likes things quite saucy, so really up to you with how much you go with on that. A little bit more on there. And I'm just serving this with some peas on the side. Pretty good dinner considering that was all cooked under pressure.